Hey everyone, Mark the Movie Man here. Welcome to the Final Cut. And yes, today we are looking at the third installment in the Divergent series, franchise, the film series, the young adult series, to be the next Hunger Games. Not quite. Well, I'm talking about Allegiant, yes. Here we get the story. It picks up right after the events of Insurgent. We see how they've overthrown the evil Janine, if you will. But things aren't going quite hunky-dory as they thought they would for Triss and the gang. So Triss, Four, and her friends go over the wall that surrounds Chicago and explore how the real world outside of the walls is. And they run across a group of individuals that they find have all the answers they're looking for of why society the way it is, why things at Chicago the way they are, and how the world truly is. But things aren't what they seem, and soon Triss and Four find out that they really were going to be happier back in Chicago, and we see how these events play out in Allegiant. This, folks, is a young adult film franchise that has been hard for me to get through. And it's not just because I'm not the target demographic. I get I'm not the target demographic for this. But just looking at these films by themselves and how the characters are written, it really seems like they're blowing through a lot of themes that may have been touched on more deeply in the book. And I understand the difference in translating book to film. Don't get me wrong, I completely understand that. But it really seems like where there would be some interesting explorations and interesting things that they could have done with this film, they blow through it, and it leaves you feel a bit empty and leaving things a bit sloppy, like a table that was full of half-eaten food. And that was sad because I saw a lot of potential here. There are a lot of dark corners to this story, and I wanted to see those explored more. And we get that in the beginning here, where they see we get a scene where they're putting a trial on for the supporters that they overthrew. They're putting them on trial and executing people and all that. That's real dark. I'm like, all right, yeah, we're going to a few darker places that would seem natural for a story like this. But then we fall into a little bit more predictable tropes and things going on that just weren't handled, I think, very well. Now, the performers in here, they get all the original crew back, the cast back, and I was happy for that. It's always great for consistency. Plus, they make the most of the characters that are written. Triss, Shailene Woodley really has come into her own with this character, while I don't exactly like how they've handled her character. I think she is doing fine as the Triss character, feeling strong yet a bit vulnerable to her, though I did enjoy her more in the first one and in this one, especially, though, for the character Ford, played by Theo James. He's making the most of this role, but I just can't get behind this character. Third film in, and this character just bugs the hell out of me. I'm like, wow, some of the things he does, the whining and the problems he has with Triss just don't feel like they make a lot of sense, even within the world they've created. So for me, it was a little hard to swallow some of the things that he did. Now we get Naomi Watts back in here, as well as Octavia Spencer, which is great seeing them, though they don't get a whole lot of screen time. Screen time they do have. You can tell we got some veteran actors here who do very well. Zoe Kravitz is back, enjoys her, but still, out of this entire series, I could just watch Peter, the character played by Miles Teller. Miles is making so much out of this role. He's so entertaining to watch, and I know he's the scuzzy guy, he's the skeevy guy, he's the guy that backstabs everybody and is only looking out for himself, but Miles Teller is playing him so on cue that I can't help but love seeing this character on screen and all the just backstabbing, underhanded things he does. I know it sounds sick, but it's true. It's an interesting character, though. You can tell they put a lot of effort behind his character. Now, I don't know how strong of a role he plays in the books, but again, this film really makes me want to see the books because I feel that there's a lot lacking in the films that's probably in the books and handled better. Overall special effects, it's a sci-fi film. They look decent compared to what they were before. Some of the shots look really good. Some of them are just like, yeah, okay, but the world that they've built and the story that they have in here underneath is great. They just don't seem to spend a whole lot of time on it into this world. And maybe we'll get more of that in the fourth film. Yes, they've divided this last book into two, like every other young adult series out there. So we've got one more of these coming, but for me, Divergent Allegiant was middle of the road. I enjoyed the action sequences and some of the themes and stuff going on, but it just felt sloppy, like an unmade bed, or like, like I said, table of half-eaten food. It's just not quite there where you see the potential that it could be. So I only could give it 2.5 stubs for me on this film. Middle of the road. If you're a fan of the other films, you'll probably enjoy this one. But for me, looking at them just as films by themselves, they actually seem to be getting a little bit this one, I like the first one better than this one in a lot of ways. So take that as you will. If you've seen it, please leave your comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts on this series. Make sure you subscribe. We're very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. Trying to hit that by July, our 10th anniversary. I've been doing this because of my fellow movie maniacs out there. Thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me. I appreciate it. Welcome to all our new subscribers. We've been getting a lot of them. I appreciate you joining. Hope you've enjoyed the shows. We got a lot more great stuff for the rest of the year. Appreciate you hanging in there. And as always, remember, keep that ticket stub.